they know that, in terms of diplomacy and foreign aid and, anything else that America can do to help, this isn't really the time to ask.
Yeah, we're experiencing technical difficulties, and we will be with you shortly. Right. Check in with us late 2018, early 2019, and President Nancy Pelosi will be right with you.
Right, exactly. Also, I just want to say that he's killed parody, like the concept of parody. I was thinking today, about how he had to cancel the London trip, and basically they said, "Well, you're not welcome here." It seems like a political satire movie that it's like the very seeds of war with England, but we're in it. This is really happening. He is making enemies out of one of our greatest allies. Everything, even the shithole countries comment seems like something you couldn't have possibly imagined.
Yeah, that's the one other thing that I will, in a way, give him props for is that Trump said when he is president, the other nations of the world will stop laughing at us. Not for the reasons that he expected, I'm sure, because he wasn't aware that they really only started laughing at us when he got elected. But I would say his actions this week, that they're finally not laughing at us anymore. Just a facepalm and turning away is not really what we wanted them to do when they stopped laughing.
Right? He's going to get our soldiers killed. We have operations in Africa, and we can't. Those what he refers to as shithole countries are what are protecting our soldiers there. And they're working hand in hand. And now they're going to look at our soldiers and think that this fucking Klansman represents them. And you know what? If I were fighting alongside a Klan member, I might not have their back in combat. I probably won't. In fact, I definitely wouldn't.
I would say in combat, sure. But as soon as it's over.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Or I might be like, oh, yeah, I think the bad guys are over there. I'm just going to go get a smoke real quick. You go handle it. I mean, why would you fight alongside somebody who thinks that you are a piece of shit? Why would you do that? Why would you risk getting shot to protect that person? No one would.
Well, no one should.
No one should.
The Nazis, they plenty of them did.
Yeah.
Plenty of them are doing it these days.
Amen.
There was an African union that is calling for him to apologize publicly, and I just read that and was like, good luck with that. He does not seem to like apologizing for...
Yeah,
I mean, he didn't apologize for Access Hollywood. He's not going to apologize for this.
Yeah, I was actually surprised that he didn't try and blame this on Billy Bush as well. There's really no proof that I said that. It's like, actually, there's a tape.
Or Hillary.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, and as long as you bring up Hillary, I think one of the more interesting comments made this week by someone from the White House, Kellyanne Conway, said that nobody at the White House ever discusses her. I was going to... Well, I started counting the number of times Trump had mentioned Hillary in tweets in just the last week, and I'm not a marathon runner, so I tired out pretty quickly. That when she said no one talks about Hillary, I was wondering, do either of you know if Trump's Secret Service code name is No One?
Well, it's amazing that they got enough soil from her native country to fill her coffin with so that she could emerge and give that comment. Fucking horrible person.
It's one of those things, these people, the spokespeople for the administration get up, blatantly lie, say things that are known to be factually untrue. Mm-hmm. And obviously with Trump, this goes back to before the campaign even. But let's go back to the beginning of the administration. Sean Spicer. This is the biggest crowd at an inauguration, period.
Oh.
Wrong.
No.
Wrong. And like I said earlier, the hits just kept coming. And the fact that people believe this just because it's being said by someone from that's the part that I just don't understand. The lack of critical thinking. And the administration has continued to, try and dumb down America to keep people on their side. Because if folks start getting smart, they might actually stop and take a look at what's going around and realize this is not what I voted for.
Yeah. Well, a simple 2-word phrase, I think, has changed everything, which is fake news. You all you need to do is say fake news, and you have dismissed someone's year of research. Speaking of Fire and Fury, fake news. Everything in here is fake.
Melania yells after he's like, "That's the best sex you ever had in your life." Fake news, Donald. Now let me out of my pen.
That's really funny. I assumed she was just sobbing every time after.
I know. Well, she puts pictures of money on the ceiling so that she can remember why she's there.
That's right. Although it's hard to see when she's wearing
Very, wow. Disturbing.
Sorry.
No. Well, and, one of the other big stories that came out this week on this topic, with the money on the ceiling, Stormy Daniels got $130,000. Ivanka got White House jobs for herself and her husband. Melania has money stapled to the ceiling, as you mentioned. But much like the shithole story, where the right is trying to turn this to be a story about the president using bad language, which isn't such a bad thing, they are, they're trying to deny this Stormy Williams thing. Or
Stormy Daniels.
Stormy Daniels, sorry. Yeah.
I just read that. I wouldn't know.
Stormy Daniels.
It's wow. I just don't know why there's no sun up in the sky.
Real name, by the way, Ethel Hirschberg. It's probably not true, but
not her birth name. We do know that.
I like that better.
But a lot of people are saying, "Oh, well, you knew he was a player back in the day, But this was after he was married to Melania, after Barron was born, and Josh and I were talking about this before the show. I think I speak for a lot of people on the left and a lot of ourselves, true patriots, when I say it really doesn't matter who the president is literally screwing. We know figuratively it's everybody.
Yeah.
Literally, I don't care. The problem is this speaks to the bigger issue of character. Where people on the right flipped out because Obama wore a tan suit or put his feet up on the desk or whatever. He did it while he was black and a Democrat. So we know what the real cause of the outrage was. But the problem here is that this speaks to the bigger issue of character. This is who the religious right got behind. This is who all the family values people got behind and said, one of us. But the Steele dossier talks about Trump's tendency to cheat on his wife with models or porn stars in hotels and then pay them off.
Or prostitutes.
Yeah, or prostitutes. But the point is that this lends more legitimacy to the Steele dossier. If we were talking on the show last week about Fire and Fury, about the Michael Wolff book. And I characterized it as being Fox News for liberals. Like, there's, except in truth. But the fact is, I think a lot of the stuff in the book is stuff that we really, really want to believe. Just knowing Michael Wolff's background as, a journalist, but I think there's a lot of substance there, but we certainly can't take it as the gospel truth, right?
Was he taping when he interviewed those people?
He says he has tapes of all the interviews.
I think he's giving these people enough time to say, there's no way I ever said that. There's no way I ever said that. Give him about a month so everybody in the administration can say, I never said that. Then release the tapes.
Or, maybe have the newly Ecuadorian Julian Assange release the tapes. Of course, he's a political tool as well.
Oh, yeah.
Taking Trump down doesn't serve his agenda. Yeah. So he probably wouldn't. But yeah, Michael Wolff, the folks at Little Brown and the smaller in-house publishing house that put the book out. I'm blanking on the name. Charles Fort? No, something. Anyway, start releasing the tapes. Just put them out. Start a podcast. We'll host you here on Radio Titans.
Yeah, give them a couple more weeks because I wanna have everybody's credibility blown out of the water. I mean, not like they ever had any, but I'd just like to hear them protest a little bit longer and get really vehement and be like, hey, do you swear on everything that you hold sacred that if you're lying about this, you've lied about everything kind of corner? Paint them into that corner, then release the tapes and prove, I mean, what we already know, that they're all a bunch of fucking tools and liars.
Yeah, one of my favorite comments from the White House when the book came out was, well, it's not like, Michael Wolff was sitting on a bench outside of the Oval Office all day. Well, of course not. That was Omarosa's job. But she's gone now. So, since you guys weren't on the panel last week, as long as we're talking about it, have you read the Michael Wolff book?
No.
Or
I've got it on Audible and I'm to it in my car along with the Mueller She Wrote podcast and the Slow Burn podcast. And sometimes even at the gym, I'll be lifting weights. I usually listen to like rap, like angry gangster rap when I go to the gym so I can get, just like, this weight, and so like now if I want to get really, really mad, I listen to shit about Trump and I'm like, fuck this weight, man. I need to get strong because I've offered to fight him in the octagon for charity over 25 times and he has yet to step. I'm 1/3 his size, but I'm not afraid, man. Like, no holds barred, dude.
I'd put my money on you in a second.
I would beat him with his own tits. Dude. I would climb him like a spider monkey. Yeah.
Not in the way he would.
No, not in the way that he would want, but in the way that would leave a mark.
And as comedians, really, that's all we're trying to do in this world is leave our mark.
Just leave a mark. Yeah. But when I heard about that, you were right. You're right about how it speaks to like how the Stormy Daniels thing speaks to the validity of the dossier, and also like. I keep picturing Melania being like, better her than me, like she doesn't care if he cheats. She's like, and when I heard about it, I was like, gross. I don't care if like two consenting adults want to have had for when Bill cheated on Hillary, I still will never forgive him for that, because I love her so much. But if she forgave him, then, I don't know, we'll talk about it. But yeah, I mean, he's just a cheater and a liar, and he likes prostitutes to pay on him, and I can't wait to see those tapes also. Release all the tapes. I need to see all of the tapes. The PP tapes where he has his little Tic Tacs hanging out, and
gross.
And do you know that's why he doesn't want the tapes released, because everybody's going to know how small his dick is.
And I as most people, when I go to the supermarket, I do peruse the candy that's waiting there for an impulse buy at the register. I haven't been able to look at orange Tic Tacs the same ever since. It's like, I'm just like, no, just look to the left. Ooh, gum and magazines. Yeah, let's focus on that while we're waiting to buy our groceries.
Oh, that would be orange Tic Tacs, because there's a spell that binds Trump, because a lot of women are resorting to witchcraft, and I've done it. I've cast a couple of spells. I would think,
with his diet and all the cheeseburgers, he's probably binded up pretty much as we speak.
But yet you have to have something that represents Trump, like a tiny little baby
orange Tic Tacs.
They're there. Orange Tic Tacs on the next one.
And you got to figure, he seems like the kind of guy that would make someone spray tan his junk.
Oh,
horrifying.
Oh, it's so, everything is so gross.
Yeah, nightmare feel. But in terms of the Stormy Daniels thing, does it change anything? Does it change his supporters' opinion of him? I would think not.
No. This is a high five, go get him play moment for them.
Exactly. On the decency front, imagine there might be some Fox News talking heads who would look at Bill Clinton. He paid off, blah blah blah. So it's either shift the topic to Bill Clinton, or it's, as you said, it's like, yeah, cool.